What's going on, guys? Electric Ninja here, and welcome back to another logic video. Today, we're going to be analyzing the Nonogram. It's a square puzzle, and it can be from any size from 5x5 to 25x25. But it's a square puzzle in which you have to fill in the grid with black and white squares. So today, we're going to be teaching you how exactly do you solve this puzzle, what is it used for, and what's the history of this puzzle. So let's get right into the video. Let's start with a little history lesson. So the Nonogram is actually a pretty recent addition to the puzzle sphere. It started in the 1980s, and it originated in Japan before making its way in about 1990 to the UK and US newspaper. It was originally called the window puzzle or something around that. I forget exactly what. And it was named for its little panes or its little boxes. So you can see its 10 by 10 segments on the grid. It's more recent than something like a cipher or a cryptogram would be, even though it is a form of decoding stuff in a way, although it's kind of not really used to send messages. Instead, maybe you could send a picture or something with it, but it is in more recent history for this one. The nonograms aren't really practically useful, but they do help you develop certain skills in your brain. So your logical reasoning and spatial awareness are tested by this grid, but it's really not used for anything physical because, I mean, the most you can do is send like a smiley face with it. So basically what I'm saying is this is more of a mental challenge than a practical use puzzle. So now let's get to the part of the video I'm sure you guys actually want to see. How do we solve a nonogram? And this is important because I make puzzles, and nonograms are some of those puzzles. So how to solve a nonogram? Well, there are a few tricks. First of all, you want to be able to identify what will add up to the highest amounts. So the gap spaces are always going to count as 1 because otherwise it would just be in a row. So you can see that we have a 4, 1, 3 here, and that has 2 gap spaces. So instead of it just being 8, that's actually going to equal 10. So we're going to have to identify that soon. Another one, though, that we can easily identify is the bigger numbers. So like 9. Well, it's not 10, so it doesn't go all the way across, but it is going to cover most of it. So we're going to put 8 in the middle, and then 1 can be on either side. We don't know what that's going to be, but a way you can easily do like 8, 7, 9, those types of things is you can put some amount in the middle so that you have it going to either side. Then another way that you can quickly find out things is you can eliminate what you know can't be there. So for the 413, we eliminated those spots that we knew couldn't be there, and that helped us to get these 2 and the 2 here, or at least the bottom 2, because we knew that there was 1 in that 9, and there was not 1 above that. So we knew that it had to have the 1 below it to complete the 2 there, as there was no 1 or something. You want to use a lot of spatial awareness in order to solve these types of things, because you're constantly darting your eyes from one side of the board to the other in order to figure out what has changed. So when you already have solved something, it's good to just mark it off completely because it limits the other options into 2 sections. So, for example, we have the 5 here that I am not seeing for a while because this is not live. With the 5 here on the 3rd row, we know it can only be 1 spot now because the others have all been eliminated as you need 5 in a row. So you just want to use this progressive type of building on and on until you eliminate all the squares. You're going to want to look at the columns with the easiest fit possible, the columns or rows, that is. But to see what this truly looks like in practice, let me show you a 1:45 speed run while I try to desperately explain over it. So let's hit that right now. So, for example, we're loading up this new ones. We're going to start with the 9s because we can just put 8 straight in the middle here because the 1s will have to be on either side since the 9s will be in a row. And then we have the 7 and 2 one, which actually adds up to 10, which is perfect because 1 is going to be the gap Otherwise, it would be just a straight 9. So we can have it like that. Then we're probably going to go with the 3 and the 4 one here because we know the 4 one is at the bottom. The reason why we know that is because the fact that there's 5 at the top and you can't really divide it 3 and 4 there. So we're just filling in it as we go. I'm trying to talk, but it's hard to keep up. So we're just like expanding on the rows that we already know, which is that we got the 6 and then the 4 and then the 1 and the 5 we also knew had to be at the bottom somewhere. So we can see that also there's going to be a 5 and a 3 right there. We know that, I don't know why I'm not filling it in yet. This isn't live, but there's going to be a 3 right there, yes. And then that's the 3, 4, and there is the 5, 3. So that's pretty simple. You want to just look for the patterns, and when you already fill in a row, you're going to want to delete everything else that is in that row. So that's what I'm doing here with the 2s and the 3s. There we have 2, 5. We already have that 5, 3, you know, the 3, 3, that's 6. We already have 2. We already have this 3, and we already have this 5. So we actually solved this pretty fast, and this was a pretty fast speed run. So 1 minute and 45 if it would just load, okay. We actually did this in 1 minute 45, so I'm taking credit for that. But that is how to solve a nonogram. And now that I've shown you what I can show you, I think it's time that you practice by yourself. What you can do is you can load up nonogram websites, or you can check out my own nonogram that I have made, in which you're not actually trying to solve the nonogram, you're trying to just guess what it's about. But it is a pleasure to have you guys here today. I hope you guys did learn something. Make sure to start with the bigger numbers, work your way to the smaller, and eliminate everything you know can't be there, because it will help you later. That's all for me, though, today, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, goodbye!